What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Blue Crew? This is Ball Hawk, the Fatima Farmers of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Lions Talk Live morning show edition. You know what? I think we got a pretty good, entertaining one for you guys. Yes, it is the off season. Yes, we're all here, and yes, there's not always the most breaking news ever every particular day in the off season. But I think we have a couple things for us to dive on into and have us all digest, talk about free agency, because let's be fair, free agency is getting closer and closer to being here. It's a little under 40 days away. And yes, I am aware, for those who don't know, there was a mega deal. One, I'm still trying to figure out what the purpose of it was in the NBA. Somebody got that video of somebody doing something nobody else wanted to talk about, so I think a trade went down, but I don't know the full disclosures stuff about it. And, you know, hey, even though I'm a basketball coach, etc., I don't watch the NBA a ton, a little bit in the playoffs, but Luka Doncic, man, I always kill his name, going to the LA Lakers for, Anthony Davis. I was a little surprised by that. All right, let's get back to the Detroit Lions stuff and everything. Today, we're going to break down a couple free agent targets that I think are strong considerations for Brad Holmes. I do think this is a big offseason for the Detroit Lions. We'll dive into all that during the main topic of the day in about 10, 15 minutes or so. We will get into the 5 headlines now. Real quick, before we get any of that going, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about, 50, 60, something like that, subs away from hitting 13,100. So if you can help out that would be most welcomed and awesome. Also, if you have a half second of time, it is free of charge, doesn't cost you a dime. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, that like button, that share button, hit all the buttons if you could. That helps the channel out exponentially. We try to get every episode of Lions Talk Live between 200, 300, 400 thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you are going to be considering buying or selling property anywhere in the continental United States, let alone the state of Michigan where I reside, give me a call or shoot me a text. If you need my number, you now see it on the screen, 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation, see what I can do to help you out, see what I can do to help you save some money on the transaction, make the process easier, make sure you don't have any errors. Make sure your lender isn't overcharging it, all those things. I've been in the business for over 30 years, and if you need somebody to work on your behest, save you some time, money, etc., go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. All right, with all that done and said, out of the way, let's go ahead and get this show rocking and rolling. I see the Duke crew is all here. It is Sunday morning, and it is easy like Sunday morning. So let's hop into 5 headlines now. All right, while we're going through the 5 headlines, I got a question for you guys. You can throw it in the comments section. If you were Brad Holmes, what would you say are the 3 biggest areas of need, whether to address to free agency or the draft for this team? Let me know while I'm going through these headlines. But I think we'll all have probably some universal ideas. Some of us could have some different ideas. I want to hear your ideas in the comments section. All right, NFL, Lions could cut a quarterback as part of their roster reset. Story by Damian Rassis of Passion Football. It feels like in the last few days, more and more people have been on this bandwagon. I hadn't really considered this an option, but I also do get it is a growing topic of interest throughout the Lions fandom. Whether it's actually something with the Detroit Lions themselves, that I don't know. A lot of people are talking about the Lions moving on, parting ways from Hendon Hooker. He's got, I think, 1 year left in his rookie deal, and he's owed basically just over $1 million with that. So not a big burden to the team by any stretch of the imagination. Could the Lions actually move on from him? We'll see, but a lot of people are saying last year or last season now, I guess we can say, in the Washington Commanders playoff game, the fact that the Lions had Teddy Bridgewater out there as the backup quarterback for the postseason, it's probably a damning statement for, Hendon Hooker, because he had been the backup all season. Now you get to the playoffs. Why isn't he the backup quarterback? Does that really tell you that maybe Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, and whoever else you want to throw in the mix didn't have any confidence in Hendon Hooker? I don't know. I'm not here to say one way or the other. I think it does raise some particular questions. What would you guys do with Hendon Hooker at this point? He's been here 2 seasons. I still think last year is basically his rookie campaign. Would you move on from him? I'll go ahead and put why for yes, you'd move on from him. No, you wouldn't in the comments section. Let me know. Is it time for the Detroit Lions, like this article suggests, to part ways with Hendon Hooker? Let me know your thoughts if you would. All right, Lions urged to prioritize re-signing versatile former second-round pick. This is from Athlon Sports, story by John Vaccaro. And, you know, I probably agree with this one. If you don't know, and you probably most of you do know, this is in regards to Levi Onwuzurike. I like Levi. I think he's, I thought what he did down the stretch was really impressive. We all get his story, but for those who don't know, he was drafted out of college. He had a back issue. Otherwise, he probably would have been a first-round pick. Lions were able to pick him up, I guess you could say, on the cheap because of the back issue. The back issue ended up actually being worse than anybody really anticipated. He had to get a spine fusion. A lot of stuff went down. It took him you could say probably a season and a half to kind of get over that spine fusion. Many people who've had that particular surgery done to their back, to their spine, were surprised he was even able to play football again, let alone at a high level. Down the stretch, and yes, Lions had a lot of injuries on their defensive front, but I think most Lions fans would agree he was pretty impactful the last 3 or 4 games this season, including that playoff loss, including the game prior to that against Minnesota Vikings. Levi Onwuzurike may have been one of the best defensive tackles in the league, arguably. I'm not going to say top 5 or anything like that, but could you say he's a top 18, top 15, top 12? He's definitely one of the most athletic ones as far as just raw speed and abilities. So do the Lions re-sign him? I would think yes, but I also get you can't keep everybody. I do think with a Lee McNeil's injury situation, like this story suggests, it may be a priority for Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, etc., to go and re-sign him. I'd be all for it. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments section. What do you think his price tag would be? Go ahead and put L and then a number on it. So Levi, and what do you think his price tag will be per year? I think that's going to be the big thing that may keep him here or get him out of here, is ultimately at the end of the day, what can you re-sign him for? We all seem to like him. That I would assume we'd all like him. It's just at the end of the day, can you really overpay him if long-term you're seeing him as a backup rotational guy? Or do the Lions think, man, for 5-6 games that McNeil's going to be out, he'll fill in next to DJ Reader, and then the following year, do you have the situation where Lee McNeil and Levi Onwuzurike are your starting defensive tackles? I think it's a real possibility. All right, Lions 2025 NFL Draft Edge Big Board, story by Vito Cerrito of SI.com. And, I like this story. I think we always talk about, hey, who are they going to draft, who are they going to put in there? But maybe we should do sort of like the Vito did here and rank them. So I'm going to go ahead and give you his rankings. You guys have your own thoughts on them, etc. We're going to start at number 7 and work our way on up in his story. So Jack Sawyer, he's got him as the 7th best edge rusher for the Detroit Lions. He's from Ohio State. I get most of you guys understand who he is, but he is 6'5" and he is 260 pounds. So he kind of fills that mold that it seems like MCDC really wants from his defensive ends. He wants guys that can set an edge, play the run first, and get to the quarterback. Jack Sawyer actually does a pretty good job with both of those. All right, next of them is number 6, Josiah Stewart from Michigan. I get the vast majority of you guys are Michigan fans or watch Michigan football, so this is probably not a big surprise here. He, the downside to him, in my opinion, is he is 6'1" and 245 pounds. That's actually a pretty good, massive individual for his frame. He does make a difference as an edge. Now, is he going to be a every down defensive lineman for the Lions? I would have questions about that, but he could be a solid day 2 pick. He does have a massive 92.3 pass rush mark per PFF, so there's a lot of good things about him. Do you think Stewart is an ideal pick for the Detroit Lions in the first round, Or do you think maybe if you can get him in the second and third round? I guess let me know your thoughts in the comments section. All right, Donovan, boy, I'm going to kill this last name. Ukureka, boy, I'm not even going to try. From Boston College. Sorry, man, if I know I'm murdering that name. 6'3", 232 pounds. Breakout campaign with the Eagles in 2024. Recorded a career best 14 sacks and 20 quarterback hits, and his first team all ACC honors. So yes, he had received a 90 overall grade from PFF. Could he be somebody? He's got him listed. Vito has him listed as his number 5 option out there. Now, the guy I mocked for the Detroit Lions is actually Vito Cerrito's number 4 overall selection. That's Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. The reasons why I think he's an ideal fit for what the Lions like to do. Plus, he's got some athleticism. For those who don't know, Stewart is 6'5", 285 pounds. Some actually have him at 295. So we'll just say he's a big end to say the least. He was a third-team All-SEC selection in 2024, and he grades out as a proficient run stopper, which, again, I think this regime, you can like it or hate it or whatever, that is their first priority. They want to make you as one-dimensional as possible on offense. You can't run onto the Detroit Lions. You are going to have to pass. And you know what? When you pass, you can complete it, you can throw an incompletion, or you can turn it over. And that's why I always think MCDC's mindset is we can get you down to those 3 options. 2 of those favor us. 1 of them doesn't. So we'll see what shakes out if that's the way they go. Mikhail Williams is the number 3 on this list. He's from Georgia. Physically gifted athlete. I think anybody who's ever seen him play gets that, understands that. 6'5", 265 pounds. I would not be mad if we got this guy because he is very athletic. He's bigger. He sets an edge. You can argue he's kind of like the perfect blend between a just raw pass rusher and somebody, like I was saying with Stewart, that could really set the edge and defensively own the run game, etc., make you one-dimensional. But getting back to Williams, he also produced 11 total sacks and 9 quarterback hits in 25 combined games with the Bulldogs the last 2 seasons. So he would be a nice fit opposite Aiden Hutchinson. I think most of us would agree with that. The next one, number 2 on the list for Vito Cerrito, is probably not a big surprise here. Mike Green. Mike Green's popularity across the NFL, not just with Lions fans, continues to rise and grind on up. Whatever you want to say, kid's got athleticism. A lot of people are comparing him to a James Houston, who used to be with the Detroit Lions. James Houston, his rookie year, not after he broke the ankle, by the way. Could it be the Lions get him at number 28? My thought is because he continues this kind of ascend on the draft board, he's probably going to go somewhere between 18 and 25, which means the Lions would have to make a trade up. Who knows, though? Maybe a couple other people rise up the draft day board. We get this as becoming a more and more offensive first-round draft, sort of like last year and the year before. Could he slip and slide on down? It's possible, but if the Lions were able to get him, I do think you're going to have to bulk him up a little bit if he's going to be a three-down end for the team. We'll see what shakes out. And then the number 1 option for the Detroit Lions, according to Vito Cerrito of SI.com, is James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. Pierce checks in at 6'5", 240 pounds, registered 17 and a half sacks over the past 2 seasons for the Volunteers. He also produced a career best 43 quarterback hurries last season, earned a 89.3 Pro Football Focus pass rush grade for his efforts. So what do you guys think with that list? Who would you like the Detroit Lions to get out of that? Let me know in your thoughts in the comments section below, if you would please. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. And again, you're going to get more and more of this as we get closer to the free agency, the draft, the whole shebang-a-bang. You guys all get it. 2025 Detroit Lions mock draft roundup 2.0. Defense dominates early projections. SB Nation story by Eric Schlitz with this one. Let's see what Eric has to say. His personal thoughts are, now he doesn't list who the Lions are going to take. He just thinks the best options for Lions. Let's go ahead and go through this. First one is Tyler Booker, a guard from Alabama. He says the source for his thoughts on Booker comes from the 33rd team. Here's the quote. Quote, the Lions boast a strong reputation for their offensive line, but are facing the outlook of potential change at both guard spots. Kevin Zeitler has an expiring contract and was the better of the 2 starting guards for the Detroit Lions. Graham Glasgow signed a 3-year deal last offseason, but struggled in 2024 amid all the changes in Detroit's coaching staff upheaval. Staying true to the DNA of the team will help ease the transition. And the making of a mauling guard like Tyler Booker is a perfect fit. Here's my thought. If you can't re-sign Zettler, getting someone like Booker and putting him opposite Mahogany, that Detroit Lions offensive line is starting to look a whole lot younger between those two. And you could say, I'm drawing a blank on the right tackle now. Penei Sewell, thank you. Sorry. Penei Sewell. I mean, that line is now looking pretty dang young. And not that, Frank Ragnow's old, but him and Decker are starting to get a little bit older. So that's not a bad thought at all. I think if they decide to go that way. Next on the list, he's got defensive tackle. He's got Derek Harmon, a defensive tackle from Oregon. This one comes from CBS Sports and Blake Brockmeyer. Quote, Derek Harmon is a disruptive interior force who will fill in positions of need for the Detroit Lions. With 40 hurries, 5 sacks, 8.5 tackles for loss in 2024, Harmon's quickness and burst make him a valuable addition to Detroit's defense. His ability to knock back and the line of scrimmage and penetrate gaps fits the Lions' aggressive defensive philosophy. All right, next would be defensive tackle from Ohio State. This comes from Pro Football Network, Chris Dolson. Let's see, Tyler Williams. Williams has the potential to become a disruptive force in the middle with his high motor and ability to penetrate. Lions could also have the use of additional people like Jaden Daniels of the NFC divisional round. So, all right, whether or not they go with him again, Lions already have a couple good guys in there with the Lee McNeil, DJ Reader. We get DJ Reader's going to be on the last year of his contract. We've already talked about today about Levi Onwuzurike as a pretending free agent, so we'll see. A couple others they throw on here. Edge rusher Mike Green, we already talked about, so I'm not going to beat that one up. Williams, edge rusher Georgia, so we're not going to beat that one up since we already went through it. Same with Shamar Stewart. We got through him. Here's one that we hadn't, though. Nick Sowerton from Texas A&M. This comes from Josh Edwards of CBS Sports. Quote, perhaps this is an instance of being a prisoner of the moment, but Nick Sowerton is a great value at this stage in the first round. And when the franchise really struggling with depth at the result of injuries, Lions will not be able to pass on someone like this. They do have Zadarius Smith, Josh Pascal, Aiden Hutchinson, and in this scenario, now Sowerton. So could it be? We'll wait and see. All right, but that ends that one. Let's go on to the last of it. Of the 5 glorious headlines now, how much salary cap space does the Detroit Lions have heading into the offseason? SI.com, story by Christian Boer. Boer, answers the big question. How much money do we actually have to spend? Well, right now, before we get this year's updated cap space, Lions have, we'll just say $47 million. It's actually $46,684,933 in the cap space. So go ahead and break that down if you want. The expected cap increase is roughly $17 million. That's going to take us up, as you guys, probably are definitely aware, to roughly $63 million. What do you do with that cap space? Well, we're going to break that down during the main topic of the day. So without any further ado, let's head on over, even though I probably went on this segment way too long, and get you into the main topic of the day. Yeah, sometimes I ramble on a little bit with those 5 headlines now, so sorry about that, guys. All right, main topic of the day. Let's break it on down, get you into why you're here. Hold on a second. Let me wet my throat a little bit. All right, so we're going to give you 10 free agents who could help push the Lions into the Super Bowl, in my humble opinion. Let's see what your opinion is. I'm going to murder some of these names. Full disclosure, I'm not going to do well with it, but Paulson Abeyo, cornerback from the New Orleans Saints. I think we all get it. Lions like to play man-to-man coverage. They like to be able to pressure the opposing quarterback. They like to be able to send that front 7 into run gaps, etc., while trying to go after the quarterback, which means you got to put a lot of people on islands. The New Orleans Saints do have a guy in Paulson that, comes on in. If you're going to replace Carlton Davis, if you're going to replace Ife Melifonwu, you got to bring in somebody else, unless you really want to just go with Arnold, Vildor, Meek Robinson. Maybe you think Rakestraw's ready to step on up. But it is an option if you want to go with a more experienced person that Deo comes in. He is basically 6'1.5". He's roughly 200 pounds, so he's not a small cornerback by any stretch of the imagination. Aaron Glenn's no longer in the building, so we get it. Maybe Kelvin Shepard's going to do a couple things different. I think this would be a good pickup for the Detroit Lions. Again, if they want to move on from Iffy and CD3. I'm not saying they will, But if they do, you probably do want to bring in another strong veteran presence. Derek Barnett, edge from the Houston Texans. Barnett, if you don't know, nice, real addition to the Detroit Lions defensive line. You start getting Aiden Hutchinson, him, Zadarius Smith out there. I think you got some good stuff to work with. Derek Barnett is 6'3", roughly 260 pounds. So again, kind of in that mold of the Aiden Hutchinson type of size. He's not the power end like someone who's 280, 290, but he's a mixture with some athleticism. We've been talking a lot in recent weeks. I know a lot of us want to be able to put more pressure on mobile quarterbacks. Well, get people out there who can motor around. He was behind a couple of standout pass rushers on Houston's depth chart, and Donnell Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. They all combined for 23 sacks, and that's exactly the role he'd have to play with the Lions. He would be a rotational guy, more than likely. I don't know if he'd be a starter, but he would be a very nice, in my opinion, rotational piece. Calais Campbell, hey, we were rumored that maybe the Lions would sign him if the Dolphins got rid of him for a playoff push. That never happened. Let's talk about it. Campbell is 6'8", 307 pounds, so he can play inside, he can play outside. We all get the Lions like a lot of flexibility. Will he retire? That's the big question I have. I think he's leaning that way. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to make one more run with a team he feels can get to the Super Bowl. How much would he cost? I don't think it would be a ton to get him at his age, because remember, he is 39 years old. There aren't many defensive linemen in the league at that age, but if he can still do it, and again, as a rotational piece, I think it might not be a bad move. Go ahead and let me know. Do you like any of these options so far? Let me know in the comments section. L.J. Collar, edge from the Arizona Cardinals. This guy is a former first-round pick by the Seattle Seahawks in 2019. Hard to believe that's like 6 seasons ago. Who turned in a career best 3.5 sacks for the Cardinals in 2024. Collar is the type of power rusher the Lions value having opposite of Hutchinson. Now, again, could you get him on a cheap, not a huge contract? Rotation. I think we all get it. Lions did not have much of a rotation last year, and it probably ended up biting him in the butt a little bit. So could it be somebody the Lions target along with somebody in the draft? I think it's an opportunity there. Brandon Cooks, wide receiver from the Dallas Cowboys. Most of you guys know who this kid is. Jared Goff definitely knows who this kid is. He's still got some speed. He's still got some abilities. He's 5'10". He's 190 pounds. He is coming off missing 7 games due to a knee injury. If he comes on in, the Lions, we're always talking about what are they going to do with the number 3, number 4 wide receiver. I think, Khalif Raymond's going to be here next season. I don't think the Lions are going to, as a coaching staff, move on from him. Tim Patrick, if you keep him, Cooks probably isn't coming on over. But if Tim Patrick wants to go somewhere else, and I get it, he may want to, Braden Cooks might be an option here. Greg Danes, defensive lineman from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, 6'1", 20 pounds, something like that. Very good rotational piece for the Buccaneers over the last couple of years. The Lions are definitely very familiar with him because of all the games they played against the Buccaneers. Again, you're noticing with a lot of these free agents, they're on the defensive side, especially the defensive line. It's not that our defensive line was terrible, but it was beset by injuries. And I think the value you're seeing with the Philadelphia Eagles amongst the Chiefs and other teams that make deep playoff runs, you've got to have depth on that defensive line. You've seen that with prior Super Bowl winners. I think he's a real opportunity for the Lions. Cam Gill, linebacker from the Carolina Panthers. When injuries first started to pile up on the defense last year, the Lions added Gill, 6'3", 240 pounds, to the practice squad. He remained there for 2 weeks before the Panthers poached him. Now, could he be brought back? I think it's an option for the Lions. He does have some abilities. Again, he would be a rotational piece, not a starting piece for there. The next one, I'm not so sure about, but it at least brings up thoughts and conversations. Stephen Gilmore, cornerback, he played last year. You guys probably know for the Minnesota Vikings. I get this guy's 900 years old. I also think if you want to put him in the Iffy Melifonwu role as a cornerback / linebacker / safety, that's where I think he could really excel. I think he would do pretty well for the Lions. He would give him a lot of versatility. He's 6 foot. He's 190 pounds. Probably a 1-year deal if you're going to get him. But you could probably get him ultimately around the same price I'm anticipating as Iffy Melifonwu. Is he better than Iffy? At this point in his career, I'll leave that to you guys. He's definitely going to be one of the most experienced players out there. So maybe they go for him. All right, just a couple more here, and then we'll get on over to the Duke Crew comments. Jonathan Franks, cornerback from the New England Patriots, 5'9", 180 pounds. Probably somebody sort of like a Meek Robinson. He'd have him on the slot or maybe a depth piece, rotational piece, but he would give them more flexibility. We all get it. Emmanuel Mosley didn't pan out for the Lions. I get why they're, I would assume, not going to resign him. I guess I shouldn't say they're not going to resign him, but I would assume they're not going to resign him, especially since he kind of left the team the last couple of weeks for whatever reasons those may be. But he is a pretty good depth piece for the Lions. 9-year career in the NFL. He's had a pretty nice one out there. And the last one, hey, again, talking about the Tim Patrick opportunity here. If Patrick takes off, you want to probably have somebody to replace him, and that'd be Darius Slayton, the wide receiver from the New York Football Giants. There are some really good receivers out in free agency this year, but some ones you're going to have to pay some big money to. I don't see Brad Holmes investing a ton of money in the number 3 receiver. So, in my opinion, someone like Slayton would make a bit of sense out there. We'll see if if the Lions go for him or if they just keep Patrick. But again, you want to have opportunities or options in front of you in case somebody does sign elsewhere. What do you guys think of this list? Is there anybody I missed? Somebody else you're thinking of that isn't a current Lion or a Lions free agent, somebody from another team? Let me know in the comments section. And hey, let's get over to the Duke Crew right now. And I see, hey, we've got 90 or so, 100 comments. Hey, real quick, before I forget, if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also hit that thumbs up like button. All right, guys, scrolling on up to the top of the screen. Give me a moment. I'm moving all the way up there. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew, exclamation points. One pride back at you. Good to see you always, my friend. Lions, strong football, 100%, my friend. I think we're in it to win it next year. JDC, morning all, same to you. France, good day to all, good day all to Coach and Duke Crew. Who we got on the list? Well, now you know the list. And sorry, I got a little tongue-tied twisted there. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Coach Dan, not Lions news, but what did you think of the Luka trade? I was just real surprised by it. I mean, there's probably more to it than I really know. I didn't read up on any of the stories or listen to anything this morning while I woke up and saw that what went down. The only thing I could say is Luka Doncic is a generational talent. They, was it the Dallas Mavericks? Was it last year? Yeah, last year they were in the NBA Finals. I want to say he's still scoring, somewhere in the mid to high 20s. He's only like 24 or 25 years old. So why would you make the move to get Anthony Davis? I mean, I don't know Anthony Davis's age off the top of my head, but I know he's in his 30s, and usually that's not great for anybody in the NBA the older you get. Yes, I get LeBron James is 40 and still playing, but LeBron James is not the average human being. The Dallas Mavericks had to have a reason to make this happen, and maybe there's other considerations involved with the trade that I'm not privy to. But good for if that's what the Dallas Mavericks wanted, good for them, I guess. Trey, what's good all? Question mark. I do think we need to nail this free agency for guys who can step in ASAP and the draft for mostly depth and long-term answers. That's kind of where I'm at with it, Trey. I think the Lions, in my opinion, they may resign some of their own guys for depth or whatever, but I think the Lions are going to try to bring in 1 or 2 impact players in free agency. People are going to come in and you say, yeah, they're going to start here, they're going to start there, and they're going to make the team better in that regards. Beyond that, it would be my anticipation 90% of this draft, sort of like last year's draft, is going to be about depth. And I get that doesn't sit well with fans. I get it doesn't make for the greatest content and creation in the world. But from a just running the franchise standpoint and keeping good, solid depth across the board at all positions, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think the Detroit Lions are one of the best franchises, in the NFL right now for that standpoint. Christian Mahogany, look at it last year. When he finally got his opportunity to start, look at the impact he made. Ife Melifonwu, yes, we had to wait 3 years. Same with Derek Barnes for him to really make an impact. But once he got that opportunity to develop, to heal up, etc., he made an impact. We're talking about Levi Onwuzurike being perhaps one of the most sought-after defensive tackles in the league. And yes, you had to wait, I think, 3 seasons for him to really make that impact. It's my anticipation. Lions are going to get 1 or 2 good guys in free agency, and then maybe your first-round pick or second-round pick, ends up playing a bit this year. The rest of them, I'm guessing, are just going to be rotation guys until they have their opportunity to be developed. Work time. Good morning, Dan. Oh, how I miss Lions football already. You ain't alone, my friend. Brad will get the right pieces for us to be a contender again. We will win the Super Bowl within 3 years. Go Lions. I think it's this year, man. I just think from where the team is kind of on an age standpoint, you think about where Hutchinson's going to be, Goff, St. Brown, Jameson Williams. I mean, think about Jameson Williams, what he's done in a couple of seasons. You want to talk about guys that take a little bit of time to get a return on your investment. The first year we get it. He was injured. You didn't have expectations for him. Year 2, he did start making some plays. And last year was year 3. I think most of us agree he became a pretty good player. Yes, he had a few distractions at the start of the year, but by the middle of the season, those were gone. He rose and shined. He is a game changer. In year 4, I think he's going to be a big year for him. I think this is honestly the year the Lions, we're going to see the best Lions football team that probably most of us alive have ever seen. Might not be better than a 15-win regular season, but I think this will be the most complete Lions team we've ever seen. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you. Lions Fanatic Bird Time. Good morning, JDC. One pride, 100%. Darcy, tick, 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 as JD would say. Free agency will be here soon. Yeah, a little under 40 days away. Detroit Mac, good morning, Duke Crew. Another day of Lions Talk Live. Start my day. Woo! One pride, 100%, my friend. Amber, good morning, Coach and Scrappy Duke Crew. The Lions are going to be dangerous this year. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do think we're going to be a very, very tough team to beat this year. Lauren, Bird Time. UFI season starts soon. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. UFL, excuse me. Jason, I'm confident our momentum continues with Brad Holmes, MCDC, and all that raw talent we have. Yeah, and we don't even know where we're at with Vaki, Manu, or some of the guys from last year, maybe even Scoresdale. But again, kind of referencing Jameson Williams, Ife Melifanu, Derek Barnes, Levi Onwuzurike, none of them really did much their first 2 years in the league. It was year 3 or 4 that they really broke out. And you know what? Some of those younger guys from the last 2 years of drafts, this is going to be their time to shine. Amen. Nothing better than Lions Talk Live in the morning. It really has grown to me. Listen almost every morning now. Well, thank you for that. I hope you enjoy the show. Lance, couldn't find the link for a minute there. Was wondering if there wasn't going to be a show today. Yeah, I was a little behind schedule with things. I was working on some stuff with the 5 headlines now and the mock draft stuff that the different guys had. So I had to get that all incorporated in the show. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late. JDC of Lions Fanatic Bird Time. Morning to you. Darcy, yep, getting closer. 100%. Lauren of Bird Time, JDC, good morning all. Back at you both. Or y'all, I guess you say. Big Eddie, greetings, salutations. I highly doubt Holmes goes crazy in free agency, but it does sound like we'll have around, 50 to 60 million in cap. I can see 2 to 4 people for around 30 to 40 million if that are brought in. Okay. Yeah, my thought is we're probably going to get 2 people, and it doesn't mean they're going to be like the creme a la creme, the highest paid dudes at their positions, but probably just a tier below that to make the team better, and then, resign your own guys, keep drafting, et cetera, et cetera. Detroit, Matt, a little off topic, but I can't believe Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers. What are the Mavs thinking? That's the big question I'm guessing most of us would have if you're an NBA fan or just trying to figure out, Scooby-Doo, what the heck just went down. I don't really know because I don't really watch the NBA a ton anymore. As far as Donka, maybe just wanted out. I don't know. I don't have any information. Bird Time, good morning, Lauren Van X. Yeah, there we go. 5 fingers, Freddie. Good morning, Duke Crew. Go get Barnett. I'd like him. Think he has upside. I do too. I think, again, is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be a Pro Bowl or a Hall of Famer? No, he's not going to be that, but he would be a real nice, sound rotational piece for you. JDC, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Go Lions, 100%. Quitting. Greetings, salutations, y'all. Whoever that best edge be in agency, Brad needs to sign him big time. I know a lot of us talked about, what's the guy's name who went from Minnesota to Houston last year? I don't remember, but we all wanted that big splash name last year. We didn't get it. We got Davenport. What we do here, I don't know. But I think Brad Holmes has probably got a pretty good plan. JDC, Lauren, good morning to you. Lions Talk Live fan and a cornerback. Yes, probably get a cornerback too. Sosimo, trade Hooker for a 5th or 7th. Get a better, younger option, replace Goff in 2 to 3 years. I know there was one mock draft that specifically targeted that. I don't remember who the quarterback was. I know we talked about that yesterday or the day before. There have been some of you guys that want to, was it Jackson Dart from Ole Miss? I get that too. Could it be the Lions take the Green Bay Packers approach where, hey, Goff's got, another 3 years on his contract or whatever it ends up being. Bring in somebody, let them grow and develop for 3 years or 2 years or whatever, and then replace Goff. It's possible. I don't know what the Lions are going to do there. I like Hendon Hooker, but I also get why potentially you could move on from him. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. As always, my friend. David, why does everyone want Goff gone? That's a good question, man. He's done nothing but win here. I know Goff has his supporters. I know he's got his detractors. I would say that's pretty much par for the course for every quarterback in the NFL right now. I mean, unless you're Patrick Mahomes or something like that, most quarterbacks go through this. I think the problem with Goff is you put up a great regular season, and then, in the postseason, you did not have a great game. I think that'd be safe to say. Why that is, I'm not going to dive into it. Let you guys come to your own conclusions. Lions Talk Live fan, trade Hooker to move up in the draft. Ooh, maybe that's a thought. Lauren, I know it's not Lions Talk, but who you want to win the Super Bowl? I'll go with, I'll go with the Eagles just so it's not the Chiefs. How about that? Lions Talk Live fan, Goff jokes. He did not have a great game this year. Now, also remember, the year prior, he won 2 playoff games, and in my opinion, he did enough to win to take us to the Super Bowl. It is what it is, though. JDC, Drake Forbes will rock. He will, and he will roll. So small. I think we would be better with almost any other starting level quarterback. Okay, so let me ask you, who do you want the Lions to go to get? I get some of you don't like Goff, and hey, I'm not here to tell you if love him or hate him. Do what you want to do. But if you're going to move on from him, I would say where the franchise is, we need to make sure we have somebody out there who can be a clear improvement over him. So that's always my thought when somebody says, get rid of this person, replace that person. Who do you know you can bring in that is better? Let me know in the comment section. Bird time. I love to draft Jack Sawyer. Him and Hutch would be sick. He projected mid to late first round pick. We are 28, I believe. It could be he falls to us. I don't know if he will, though. Lauren, JDC, and rolls. There you go. Bird time. Exactly, David Bing. Pat, keep Goff. Oh, my gosh. Please go get Sawyer. Lions fanatic, bird time. Also like him. Yeah, I think a lot of people like Sawyer. JDC, Lauren, let's see. Detroit Lions win next year's Super Bowl? I think so, too, my friend. I do. I think next year's team will actually be better than this past season. Lauren, oh, yeah. Next logo proves it. I'll go with that. I'll go with that indeed. Bird time. I love to hear you, Pat Rock. I like Goff. Offense is fine. D-line needs to be focused and really like Jack, too. Yeah, I think a lot of people do think I get it. There are some similarities between him and Hutchinson. Again, whether or not he's going to be there 28, I don't know. I personally think the Lions are going to go with a bigger end, but who knows, man? It's so early in the process. It could be anybody still. Let's see. Voltron Forest trade Goff for a 2nd and 4th. Get Hooker going. Draft Sawyer and sign a few free key agents. That's my off-season plans. I get there are some who want Goff gone. Since he just re-signed a contract, he's got a no-trade clause. He would have to want to go, and I just don't see him leaving Detroit. He's got such a good setup here with all the offensive weapons, etc. Could it be he wants to leave? I guess we'll wait and see. Steve, I agree with Mr. Bing. Jared Goff is our quarterback. It's easier to get worse at the position than it is to get better. That's where I fully agree. Defense wins championships. Yeah, I get everybody wants, somebody who's, completes 100 out of 50 passes, throws for 47 touchdowns every time they're on a drive, which we all get isn't possible. But the problem is I shouldn't say we all, but some want a replacement for Goff. The question is, who do we know we can get without completely giving up 50 first-round draft picks that would be clearly better than Goff? Let's see, Voltron Force. Goff is off the team. If I am the GM, fair, I'm getting that impression. Yes, Berg time. And that's why you're not the GM, Voltron. Could be. Lauren, 33 people watching and 13 likes. Something is wrong with that. Yes, go ahead if you would, please. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Frank Think, what up, Do Crew, East Side. Woo, woo, woo. Go Lions. Back to you, and good to see you this morning. Mr. Nico, good morning, coach and crew. The gloves are off, and the checkbook is open. This offseason, we will have all the pieces fall into place for a Super Bowl championship. Goff has everything to prove. He does, man. I'm sure he's not happy about that performance he had against the Commanders. And again, I think there are probably some extenuating circumstances behind some of it. But, at the end of the day, you are what your record says you are. JDC, Puff, woo, coffee, and Lions Talk Live. I'll go with that. Mike K, Royal Rumble reaction, yeesh or sheesh. All right, I'll go with both. How about that? Susan, day 2, wish you luck. Luck is being wished your way. Lauren, I'm right with you, JDC. Mike K, our reaction, ye or she, I'll go with that. Or reaction, okay. Dennis, good morning, Dan and Do Crew. Back at you, Dennis. Robert, greetings and salutations, Dan and crew. Same to you all. Mike K, Luca, 100%. I like to talk about Luca, maybe on a different show, though. JDC, Lauren, let's see, a refresh of the page. Usually we'll give an update on the thumbnails thing. There you go. Mike K, Dale's done dirty. And I don't get it, but again, since it's not Lion stuff, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Lauren, up to 28. Woo! So there you go. The Trim Reaper. What up, Coach and Duke Crew? Woo! Back at you. See, Southwest Land. Good morning, all. Getting to the top is tough enough. Staying there is what really is a challenge in the NFL, especially with all the turnover in the coaching staff and roster. Next year will be interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to see some changes. I don't think the changes necessarily have to be bad. I get why we all have questions, trepidation, things going to be different. Maybe it'll be, the year we fall on our face or whatever. I just look at the personnel out there. I look at the players. I do think the Lions, whether it's Zettler or whatever, are going to have a very good young offensive line, or young-ish defensive line. Most of us would probably agree they're going to invest a bit into it, whether it's free agency in the draft. So that defensive line, now that everybody's coming back and healthy, is going to be one of the better ones in the NFL. I just think they're doing a pretty good job of blending free agency and draft picks, developmental guys. We'll see what shakes out, but I think the Lions are probably going to win 11 to 13 games. They're probably going to win the NFC North again because of that, and they're going to, I guess we could say that would be a half a decade of nothing but stability for the franchise, which most of us, I should say, have never lived to see before. JDC, yep, 28. Woo! Back at you. Big D, what's up, Crack-a-lack-and Duke Crew? Woo! And all right, Big D, ultra strong Java this morning. Well, enjoy it, my friend. Mike K, Luca House on the market. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, he didn't list it with me, unfortunately. Rocky M, good morning. All the Senior Bowl was without a lot of players wanted to see Green, but he blowed out the game. Didn't blame him about out of the game. Excuse me. I wouldn't want to stay injury. I would want to stay injury free too. Yeah, I get that for a lot of players. He had his moments out there. He showed his athleticism. Whether or not the Lions are going to go get him, we'll have to wait and see on draft day. Miles Marker, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Coach and Crew. Same to you. Atlanta, Brandon. If the Lions, Brad Holmes doesn't get a defensive end, we need this year via trade, free agency, or draft, with people start holding him accountable for the things he doesn't do. Question mark. It's about that time. Yeah, I know he's tried a couple things with different options and opportunities to try to help out. I think this is the year you probably do see him draft somebody. Again, the right player has to fall to you. You don't want to draft somebody just because you want a defensive end, even though maybe your draft board says he's not that high a player grade-wise. So we'll see what shakes out, but I do think they make some moves there, Atlanta, Brandon. John, greetings, salutations, Dan, and the world-famous Duke Crew. Go Lions, roar, 100%, my friend. Mike K, defensive line, cornerback, offensive line. I like the way you're thinking. 9 drinks. Good morning, Duke Crew. Strong, 100%. Good to see you, my friend, as always. Burger time. Defense. And I think you might even see some more defense. Big D, defensive end, outside linebacker and linebacker. Okay. Let's see. Miles Myers, Susan's got break a leg. You go, girl, 100%. Big D, offensive line, always. Yeah, keep a strength strong. Burger time. Defensive end, linebacker. I think most of us would concur. Mr. Detroit City Coach Dan is the man. And you know what? You guys, the Duke Crew, are the people, the stars of the show, really. I'm just kind of the announcer. JK, Hooker is a senior already, probably getting close to his AARP card. Robert G, defensive line, linebacker, cornerback. I'll go with that. 9 drinks. Okay, M&M's it is. Big D, kid is talented, very talented. Unfortunately, we have Goff for a few more seasons. I think if we had a mobile quarterback, we could put up 50 at will, maybe. And, Hooker does have a strong arm. Whether or not he can read defenses or where he is with that stuff yet, because let's be fair, last year was his rookie year. I get why we would have some hesitation putting him out there in a playoff game, being a rookie. But at least he's got the raw skill sets we all seem to think will make him strong. We'll have to probably wait till next preseason to see him in some games against vanilla defenses to see if he's really started elevating his game. Bird time. Why he's never going to play here if you can't get a decent pick for him, go do it. Yeah, and I could see that where maybe the Raiders or Ben Johnson or somebody else wants him and they're going to trade something for him, and then you can just go sign a veteran quarterback. DM5, I say keep him and give him a package or two. Hooker could be like steaming Willie Beeman, 100%. Could be. Love the reference, by the way. Max 77, Carlton Davis. I would be okay with bringing him back. Rocky, if they cut Hooker, Holmes will have to admit he got it wrong, but maybe he didn't fit Ben's schemes. He didn't know what to do with a mobile quarterback. Good luck with that in Chicago. Yeah, it could be all of the above. JK, Hooker, a hobby project might be. I mean, he's got a lot of the raw stuff you can't teach, so I get why somebody might want to make him a project. Dr. Detroit, I want a top defensive end and a top outside linebacker. All right, Dr. Detroit, let me ask you, who would those be? I'm assuming you're talking free agency, not the draft, but if it's a combination of two, let me know. You just let me know whatever you're thinking. Giovanni Lyons, good morning, Dan. Sheila, woo! You asked for a Sheila Woo. I will give you a Sheila Woo. A 1, 2, and a 3. Plus, it lets me clear my throat not on air. Steve, 3 things needed. Defensive end that can set the edge, linebacker with blitzing speed, more depth at corner. Defense wins championships. You're not wrong there, my friend. T-Bone Lokes, what do you got? I don't understand the Hooker bashing when he showed fearlessness in preseason. He did, man. I think people just want to see him do it in the regular season. I think a lot of people are worried that the fact that Teddy Bridgewater was the backup quarterback for the playoffs, that was a worry sign for the organization. Atlanta, no more injury-prone players. Then we'll see if they go that way. 9 drinks, L, $4 million. Okay, for the price tag. I'm down with that for Levi. Now, Detroit, no more Dollar General Brad. We'll see if he changes form, transforms into Target General Brad. The Trim Reaper, we got to hold on to Hooker. He could be a diamond in the rough. He does have some potential out there. We just haven't seen it yet, so that's why it's all speculative at this point. Big D, Hooker is ultimately just like Anthony Richardson. Could you imagine if we had a mobile quarterback like that? Could be some similarities, and, hey, we'll see what happens in time. Southwest Line, Hooker trade value is about as low as it gets right now. I got to imagine you're probably not getting a ton for him unless somebody really knows something about him that we as fans don't. We'll see, though. Rocky, Levi should feel like he owes Detroit a hometown discount, but give him a couple million more than the vet's minimum. Yeah, that might be. And again, I don't know what the market's going to be for him. I can just tell you what I saw in film. I thought, especially the last 4-6 games of the year, he looked pretty dang good. Dr. Detroit, you want to get a fifth for Hooker? If we could get that, I'd probably take it if you're going to move on from him. DM5, I don't think Levi is a starter, but is slightly better than a backup. So, yeah, it comes down to the price tag. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Dr. Detroit, but Cleveland liked him. Garrett deal, maybe? Yeah, I mean, I get Cleveland. Cleveland's a mess, man. I think most of us get it. If Ben Johnson went to the Raiders and they would have traded for Hendon Hooker, that probably would have sent up a lot of signals to the Lions fans that, man, Ben Johnson really thinks Hendon Hooker's the man. Obviously, Cleveland wanted him, as you're alluding to, because their situation across the board, across that team, just isn't good. Ezra Gray, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew here in California vacation. Made it to the show. Man, you are up real early, Ezra, so hopefully you're having a good start of your day. Whatever you're doing out there on vacation, hopefully you're having a great time, my friend. Southwest Line, I'd keep him for another year. Maybe they do. JK, Hooker and JMO were one of Brad Holmes' injured favorites. They were. JMO seems like he's working out as anticipated. Hooker, we'll see. Dr. Detroit, Brad only drafts injured players. That could be true. Miles Barrett, after all the injuries this year, Lions know better than any other team what they need to keep strength in their depth. Yes, keep Levi. Yeah, you got to keep good depth and keep drafting good depth. Courtney, spinal fusions usually lead to more stress on remaining discs, higher risk of bulging, herniation. Could be that. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with them. I know talking to like Micro Mike and stuff because he's had some similar stuff. He's talked about it on air and, just talking to him a little bit about things. It's the fact that Levi's playing, I think that's a credit to medical science. JDC, it seems like Hooker is a developmental stage, such as what Cheddars have done over the years. Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of similarities there. Atlanta Brandon, Dr. Detroit, he also paid them in free agency too, taking injury-prone players. Probably true. Southwest Line, Dan, have you ever heard anything on Mark Brunell? Is he going to the Jets or staying in Detroit? I have not heard any updates in a while on Mark Brunell. So as far as I'm aware of right now, he's still a Detroit Lion and not leaving anytime soon. But, obviously that could change in 5 minutes from now. Miles Wire, Ezra Gray, hey, bro, have a great time. Yeah, have a great time out there on your vacation in California, my friend. Richard, keep Hendon Hooker until we find a better backup quarterback. Maybe that's what they do. Dine Drake's great question. Southwest, JC, I think that's a really good point. That's why I'd like to give the brain trust of David Shaw, John Morton a chance to address before any Hooker trades are made. Yeah, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with stuff, so wait and see what things, hey, everything will be revealed in time, right? Lauren, Miles Martin, good morning. Southwest Dan, you should be pretty happy about USC beating Michigan State yesterday. I was, man. I thought it was a great job by the Trojans. JK, story by Vito Jerko. Okay, we'll go. Rocky, I think Chris Miller might push for Ohio State man on the stage. Could be. I mean, at the end of the day, I think they're just going to go with whoever they feel is the best player. I get we all have ties to our respective alma maters or whatever, but I think at the end of the day, Chris Miller just wants to win. If he thinks it's Ohio State dude or a Kalamazoo Valley Community College guy, whatever it is, he's going to go with that guy. Let's see. Your hidden origin. If humanity was originally pagan. Okay, yep. Don't know if that has to do with the Detroit Lions. Giovanni, would you give up 2 firsts for Max Crosby? I would not. And would you give up 2 seconds for Myles Garrett? Receive 2 6 for Crosby and 7s for Garrett. Ooh, okay. Well, hold on. Let me rethink this. Would I give up 2 firsts for Max Crosby? No, I wouldn't. I would give up a first for him, maybe something else like a 4th or 5th. But in return, I would want in that scenario a 6th and 7th in return. In my opinion, I actually think Myles Garrett would probably command more than Crosby, but I've been wrong before. That's, of course, just my opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. DM5, Hooker don't look bad in the preseason. If traded, I guarantee that he shines for his new team. Look at all 4 quarterbacks in championship games were all mobile. Goff runs in concrete and can't move. I do think DM5, part of the reason why he's running in concrete is to build up his leg strength. That's a total joke, by the way. Tarek, I like Penn State's Abdul Carter, but he will be off the board quickly. Probably true. Yeah, I think he'll go real early, I think, at least. Big D, DM5, I've been saying that. No one listening, but it happens, man. It happens. Hey, somebody just listened, right? You heard him. DM5, Southwest Line, DM5 TV, DM5, Big D, I hear you. I think this is Goff's last year. If he can't get it done, I think they eat the money and move on. I'll go with this on this, guys. If he really just lays an egg this season, which I don't think he's going to do, but if he does, it probably does put the Lions in a situation where they got to make some tough choices. But if he has another season just like this one, if the regular season stats are the same and wins, etc., then I think if you get to the playoffs and he has a performance like he did against Washington, that's probably a tough situation to be in as a GM. JK, right where we got good running quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, we do. Miles Meyer, and one thing I would say to you guys, I get the mobile quarterback thing, but look at this. Name the Super Bowl Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen have been in. They haven't. And it took Steve Young as an example. Gosh, in a lot of trepidation, a lot of years before he got to one. Randall Cunningham, did he ever get to one? I don't remember if he did. I don't think he did. I think he got to the NFC title game a few times. So just because you're mobile doesn't mean you get there. And just because you're not mobile, obviously like Tom Brady, doesn't mean you don't get there. Let's see. Miles Bar, good morning, bro, in the hunt. There you go. Big D. DM5, if we don't win it all, I agree 100%. Berg time. When you're averaging 30-plus a game, offense isn't the issue. It's the defense. Same story for 3 years, no pass rush. Yeah, I would say the defense didn't help. Obviously the whatever it was, 5 turnovers or 4 turnovers we had last playoff game really did not help. So probably a combination of the two, right? Miles Bar, on the hunt. Lauren Vanish. Let's see, Dr. Troy. Yes, break this down for the quote, we can't afford that guy, people. Okay, I'll go with that. See, Lauren, Miles Meyer, Inside the Hunt will be up tomorrow. There you go. Inside the Hunt to Miles Meyer. Lauren, that's what I name player interviews. Okay. Southwest Line, it's a shorter list, at least recently, where Super Bowl winning quarterbacks lack mobility. Goff played a bad team, but that hit he took on the pick 6 messed him up for the rest of the game. So here's what I would say. Let's assume the turnover, the first turnover, the fumble. Let's assume we run it there. And even we only get a field goal. So now you take away one of his turnovers because, hey, we all get it. Graham Glasgow got, just destroyed on that play. The other part is St. Brown falls down on that play. That play was designed to come out super quick. But as most of us would probably agree, if you run it on 3rd and 1, you're probably even going for it on 4th and 1. You remove that turnover from him. Yes, he did that, kind of knuckleheaded overthrow of Tim Patrick, I think it was, where he got lit up. After that, I don't think he was mentally quite right. He might not have been concussed, but it doesn't mean he was mentally all there either. So it is what it is, unfortunately. DM5, if it were me, I wouldn't have extended him. It would have already been looking for a new team. He was on a contract for last year anyways, but it is what it is. Yeah, nothing you can do about it now, so moving forward. JDC, I ain't been waiting a while for them to win it all. Tick, tick, tick. You're not the only one. Big D, if Goff worked on his mobility at all in the offseason, like made it a point for his training, if it was just a threat to run 5 yards at a time, that would change everything. I know he worked on it last year. I wonder if he'll work on it more this year. Yes, Lauren, but I couldn't remember exact phrase. Just a great series it will be for sure. There you go. Southwest Lane, that train has left the station. The Lions were 15-2 with Jared Goff. He was doing something right. He just picked a bad time to have a bad game. Yeah, sometimes that's all it is. I mean, again, he's not the only quarterback in the league that's having fans go after him. I mean, we can at least say this with Goff. He's taken us to the NFC title game, something we haven't seen in 30 years. He's taken 2 teams to the NFC title game. He's taken 1 team to a Super Bowl. He's had some success in his life, and he is an MVP finalist or candidate, whatever you want to say, with 2 teams. So he's put up some numbers. He's never lost to Patrick Mahomes. He's had some good things in his career. If you're not Patrick Mahomes and if you're not Jalen Hurts, I mean, every team's got a reason to be able to question their quarterback. All right, JK, Mahomes can run. Hurts can run if option is available. Goff can't. Okay. Bird time. He did address it. He talked about it in the couple of interviews. He ran a lot more this year than he ever had in his career. Yeah, I would agree with that. He did run more this year than he ever has before. If he can continue to elevate that, I mean, how much are you going to change at 30? I don't know. But if he can just keep being at least somewhat of a threat, maybe if he can only get 3 or 4 yards instead of getting no yards, that helps. All right, I'm excited. These players are cool as heck and just like to shoot the bejesus. I'm down with that. DM5, if he goofs up this year, I think the team moves on. We can't waste Gibbs, Jamie Laporta, St. Brown's talent. We've seen that with Barry and Calvin. All right, so since this has become kind of a topic today, let's just, for the people that want to move on from Goff, who do we bring in that will be clearly better? I mean, the Lions are probably going to be good enough where you're not drafting high in the draft. Are you also going to trust everything to a rookie? I mean, yeah, hey, Jaden Daniels worked out, but let me know what your thoughts are. Who would you move on to? Vincent, Tim Patrick back 1-year deal would be nice. I would take that in a heartbeat. Bird time. Goff averaged 3.3 yards when he ran this season. By no means am I saying he's a mobile quarterback, but he's working on getting better. He is indeed. I think he moved more in the pocket than I've seen him ever before. Rocky, Stephanie, that trade looked like NBA is rigged big time. I don't know the details of it, but I wonder why they did it. Southwest, you're at the beginning of a $212 million contract. Just how would you move on from him, and who would replace him? That would be my question. Who are you going to go get to clearly be better? I think I can run faster at 42. I was a state winner at 200 meter and 4 times 100 meter. Golf is slow. Might be, but DM5, let me ask you, can you read the NFL defense and pick it apart passing like Jared Goff? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Just because you run fast doesn't make you a quarterback. Bird time. We need depth at defensive line. All legit teams have good depth in front. I would agree with that up front. I agree with that. They have it. Sounds like a Brad pick, someone we will pay that will play 2 games and be injured after that. No thanks. Yeah, could be, Dr. Detroit. Bird time. I really like Iffy, but if he can't stay on the field, which stinks because when healthy, he's really good. He is. The problem is, like you're saying, he just can't stay on the field. All right, you got about 2 minutes left, so let me power through, find people who haven't been on the show as much. William, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. In Brad, I trust. He always has a good plan for the draft. Go Lions, one pride. Back at you. It's JDC, Dre Forge rocks, and he rolls. DM5, I'm not optimistic at all. If we win, it will be in spite of him. Okay, there you go with that. Eddie's Fish, I think we need to sign Patrick because he was constant and he can step in right away. And I think that will need to re-sign Kirby Joseph. Yeah, I think Kirby Joseph is probably going to contract. I like Tim Patrick. I hope we do keep him. I also get he's going to be 31 or whatever, so he's going to be getting up there a little bit more. Let's see, Henry Moore. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Thank you for that. What a time to be a Lions fan. Go Lions, 100% indeed. Vincent, Jared Goff. I'll take all that. Hookadoo. I just don't, it doesn't matter. Goff haters are just going to hate him even though they are wrong. Goff is one heck of a quarterback. I'll go with that. Yeah, sometimes we're all human. We all get into that where, hey, doesn't matter what the evidence is. This is what I think. Nobody can tell me different. If you like him, you like him. You hate him, you hate him. Green in the draft would be fire. Yeah, I'd like the kid's speed and his bendability. Bo, woo, Duke Crew. I'm late, but I see the same Goff this in here. Free agent talk. There was a little bit, so you might have to rewind it to catch on up. Looking for some more that haven't been on here as much. Scanning. Derek, he was a good DB in college. I say give him a shot, Miles Parker. There you go. David, Hooker deserves a chance to play, so I say throw him with a trade, another draft pick, maybe. Now, who do you go get? Michael, what do you got? I want to see Hooker and From all preseason and in the scrimmages. I think they can be good backups. Yeah, I think, man, From really looked good last preseason. I was surprised somebody didn't snag him, another NFL team or whatever. JC, new drink in the Woo Bar, Lions Talk Live, mock draft beer. There you go. Have some. Mike K, Goffly. There we go. Lauren, smash the woo button. Thank you for that, as always. Mike K, All-Star Pro Bowl Sunny. There you go. JDC, don't scoff on Goff. I never will. DM5, one of the best, not better than Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Hurst, Daniels, Burrow, Stafford, and this season, Sam Darnold. Well, statistically, he was one of the better than half the guys on that list. So at the end of the day, we can have our opinions, but stats are really all we can say. I think most people get Mahomes is legendary, etc. But look at Jackson. Has he been to a Super Bowl? Goff has. Hurst has as well. I mean, Allen has not. Daniels, I don't think he has. Burrow has. Stafford has this season. Sam Darnold has not been to a Super Bowl, unless I'm messing something up there. Mosberg, did he? Lauren Van Etch, that I don't know. Phil, Punxsutawney, seen the shadow? I did see that or something about that this morning. Here's Johnny, rename Gulf of America to Jared Goff. Maybe they will. Mosberg, ditto JDC. Derek, me too, JDC. Eric, pass rush, cornerback, and O-line. I like the way you are thinking. I think that's a good list. John, thank you, Dan, for all your content. Woo! Can I get a Sheila Woo? You know what? 1, 2, 3, and I'll give you. I'll give you a Sheila Woo. Ryan, Holmes goes best pick available. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't think they're going to force the issue. It's just whoever they have the best, highest grade on, according to them in the scouting department. Here's Johnny is laughing. Southwest, yes, best player available. I think we all agree on that. Robert G, unless they had a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff is the only reason that they are as successful as they have been. Here would be my thing. And if you guys don't like Goff, that's fine. Come to your own conclusions. But if the Lions say traded Goff to the Buffalo Bills or, the Baltimore Ravens and got, one of those two respective quarterbacks and they still don't make the Super Bowl, are we going to now blame the quarterback? Are we going to blame somebody else? It's tough to win, especially the higher you go up the podium. Sometimes, man, you don't know what you got until it's gone. And the problem is if whoever you overtrade for to acquire that you assume is going to be better than Goff, if that person doesn't work out, then it's all crickets in here. Bilesmark, Ryan, yep, mid-solid approach. There you go. Vincent, wouldn't mind best player available as long as it's defense. There you go. Hey, nothing wrong with putting that out there. Here's Johnny. Goff is great until he gets the Vegas flu, gets to him, cough, maybe. John, I've got Brad signing a mid-grade defensive end. Look for who's injury prone. If you follow the ambulance, you'll probably find the desired pick or signee. David Shaw was an excellent hire. Yeah, quietly, I don't think it's talked about enough across the Lions fan base. I really like that hire. I think he's going to be pretty good. Let's see, Dr. Drink, bring Robert Yankees. There we go. Thumbs up, says Robert to Dr. Detroit. Dr. Detroit, I would like Brad to address needs in free agency and fill our back up for Decker before it's too late. I think that's what Manu's purpose is here. I think he's going to be the ultimate replacement for Taylor Decker. Could be wrong, though. Egon Goff has a better playoff record than Lamar. What do you do with that? Will you do? Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Dr. Detroit, Lamar is great until the playoffs. I hate saying it, but you can probably say that about Josh Allen right about now. And I get, part of both of their problems is they keep running into the Kansas City Chiefs. At the end of the day, though, so did Charles Barkley and a lot of other people in the NBA when it came to Jordan. Robert, very true. Egon? Vincent, Lamar Jackson, all those MVPs mean nothing. That is probably also correct. You'd probably train for a Super Bowl ring. Dr. Troy, you need to have more than just a running quarterback. You need a quarterback who can make plays and extend plays. That's, yeah, I agree with all that. Andrew, Goff can get it done. I believe he can. Yeah, I believe so too. Dr. Troy, I believe he can. Bo Booth, happy trails, Duke Crew. All done and dusted for another Sunday. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Vincent, Goff will deliver us a Super Bowl. I like the way you're thinking. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Motor City Manic, running quarterbacks get hurt sooner or later. They do indeed. Let's see. Dr. Troy, that's too many passes for Goff. All right, too many. All right. Robert G, many. Dr. Detroit, the receivers can hold up, but the defense key on the pass when they do it too much. Correct. All right, JDC, thanks, Coach. Anytime, my friend. I'm guessing, says Dr. Drake. Vincent, Goff is a top 5 quarterback. What is happening? Yeah, people have their opinions. Andrew, yeah, people are okay. It happens. Hookadoo, happy trails, Duke Crew. Oh yeah, there you go. DM5, eye test doesn't lie. Love you, Dan. Love the show. Anytime, my friend. Glad to have you here as always. Patrick, the GIF of golf. There you go. The Gulf of golf. I will go with all the above. Golf. All right, man. You guys are messing me up here. I think everyone on here would rather have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Let's be real. There could be some truth to that. You never know. Rocky Decker would be an excellent left guard. Yeah, I'm surprised, as he gets older, if they want to extend his career, maybe move him in there. D-Ray, I want Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. It does seem like a lot of people want that. Hookadoo, I'm with Goff. Let's go Lions. I concur. Vincent E., great show. Thanks for that, man. Good to have you on here as always. Dr. Troy, we all are no choice, okay? We all have no choice. How about that? Miles Marker, One Pride. Lauren, later, Duke Crew. Hope everyone has a great day. Go enjoy your Sundays, guys. If there is some sort of breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Before you check on out, if you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. See you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Excuse me, sir. Would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Juice for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?